Hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new video with me, Bsquared. We're actually doing a tutorial today going over an old video that I did and remaking it for the current version of Minecraft, which is 1.16.4. So far in the snapshots there hasn't been any changes too for 1.17, so far this will also work for that. The cool thing about this farm, since I've changed it a little bit, is that it's actually not going to take any end rods like Gnembon's original design did, as well as you don't need any workstations. So that'll also help a lot on saving on resources and making this an early as possible farm. The farm actually fits in a 33 block by 33 block square around, as well as it's about 25 blocks tall, including the collection unit. Depending on how you made that, it could be a little bigger or a little taller or deeper, but relatively you want a space about this size. A little bigger too, to make sure that the golems don't spawn outside of the area. So just keep that in mind when you're going to make this build. Alright, now we're going to go over what we need for this. So inside this chest is everything you'll need. You'll need some slabs. Any variant of slab works. A transparent block. I'm using glass since it's a fairly easy block to use. You're going to need some powered rails, 24 of them. You're going to need 24 string, 24 white carpet, 12 beds, 12 villagers, a decent amount of any block of your choice, really, nothing crazy, 20 fence gates, 24 pressure plates, 4 levers, 16 hoppers, a minecart, a zombie, buckets of lava, buckets of water, 16 signs, some chests. Minimum you'll need is 14, but you can have more than that depending on how much storage that you want. Torches to keep the build lit up as well as for the farm. And some sort of scaffolding block. You can always just use whatever block you used here. This has to be a full block. And you can use scaffolding too to help you get around. Once you have all your blocks together, we're actually going to start mapping this area out. So we're going to start by breaking a block and placing a marker block of your choice. I'm going to use green wool for this. And we're going to make a line of 13 going this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Fill that in. And then do 13 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Fill that in. And then we're going to complete the square. And once you have this square set up, we're actually going to work on the next square, which is going to be 1 block at a diagonal away from the corners. And this is going to be a 9 by 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Fill this in, just like that. And you do that 3 more times to every corner. And when you're done, you should have something that looks just like this. So that center green portion, that's going to be where our zombie track is going to be. So just for a frame of reference, we're going to have the zombie track be going around in a circle there. We're going to want to put our building block, our transparent block, and our scaffolding block that we are using in our inventory for this portion of the build. So we're going to come over so that to our right hand side is one of the blue boxes, and to this corner we're going to count up 10 scaffolding. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to climb up this. And this is where we're going to place our first glass block. 10 up from the ground. So while we're oriented this way, and we look to the right hand side, and we still have that blue box right there, we are going to count up 2 blocks. And we're going to count out 3 blocks this way. Just like that. And we're going to fill it in. So that is a 3 by 4 rectangle. Just like that. So making this is really where fly is going to be your best friend. But if you do not have fly, you're going to have to use your scaffolding blocks to kind of build up around different spots to give yourself access to different things. Because we are going to be placing a full non-transparent block right there. So that's going to be when you're standing on top of it, it should be one to the left of your green line, away on the edge where you have the 4 blocks. So just like this, and you're going to have your blue over here. So that's going to be one start of your trek. And on this side, just to make sure that we keep things where they need to be, we're going to place a block up like this. You can actually break this block, that doesn't need to be there, right in the center of the 3, just like that. So that is going to be kind of like the first setup to make sure that we line up when we go around. Going back to that cobblestone, we're actually going to need to place a glass block down and one out like that. We can break this block, it's not needed, and go out by 3 just like that. So we have a trek of 3. And then we're going to have to go back on top of this. And now we're building a staircase upwards. 2 and 3. So we want 3 blocks that we can see just like this. And it should be 1 block higher than this platform here. So it's going to match up with that block. So now that we have this, we can actually start building our next little platform. So we're going to follow that same pattern of doing 3 right off of this, just like that. And now we're going to go 3 out from there. 1, 2, 3. So this corner block is lining up with that block right down there. I'm going to fill it in, just like that. And now we're going to have to use some more scaffolding to get below this block. Alright, and from here, we're putting a non-transparent block. Going back to your transparent blocks, we don't need that one. Go out by 3. Get back on top of this. And start building our stairs. 1, 2, and 3. Just like that. So it should match up with that. Again, we already have it started up, so then we know we need to put a block here and on either side of it, and we're going to go out by 3 again. Just like that. So we can stand on this block, it's lined up directly with that one. And now, scaffolding again. So that we can reach the underside of this. Place a non-transparent block. Start building up by 3. Oops, as I fell off. Alright, come on. I'm flying. 3. And we're gonna go 3 up again in a little stair pattern. Place a block 1 below, 1 on either side, and 3 blocks like this. Filling it in, going back down, placing some scaffolding, full block, transparent block by 3, getting back on top, making our staircase. So now, this should line up with this. So this completely fits together, and this is actually most of the way done with making the track. Now all we have to do is place the items on top of this track. So let's go grab those items. So now we're going to grab our levers, our powered rails, our pressure plates, our slabs, and our fence gates. Using those items, we're actually going to begin placing everything on here that we need to. So we're going to take our 4 levers and we're actually going to be placing that on our non-transparent block. So that's why we actually needed to place these here, so that we'll be able to activate the powered rails once we place them. So this block needs to be non-transparent because transparent blocks will not send the redstone single through it. So we're going to put each one of those however you would like. It's always going to be the back side of it. So the opposite of where we have the 3 right there. And you can just activate them right away. This is just for the rails. Now, let's start putting down our rails. So we're going to put 3 here. And 3 just like that, all the way up to the top. So we have 6 rails right here, and they should already be powered since we already placed down those levers. So let's start doing that for all of the other ones as well. Just going to be 6 powered rails in a row. You can kind of just walk in a straight line. Awesome. So now we have the powered rails down. Next, let's take some of the pressure plates. So the pressure plates are actually going to be used to keep the water in the direction that we want it to, because this is where the water is going to be placed down in here to kind of slowly push the minecart around before it goes on to the next track. If you imagine it like the minecart is going to be falling right down here, you're going to place the pressure plates just like this, and then 2 right to the side. So now we have like a little track forward. And we're going to take 2 of our slabs right like this. So it'll bump into this and turn like this and go down. And we're going to do that for all of these. Alright, so now with your current setup, you'll be able to place your water down and it's going to follow this line, but it's going to fall right onto this track. So we're going to need to place something here to make sure that doesn't happen. And that's when our fence gates come into play. We're going to place our fence gate and open it up. So that'll make it so that the zombies can go through, but the water will not run down onto your design and ruin everything. So we're just going to place the block right below, right here. Place a fence gate, break that block, open the fence gate. We're going to do that for every single one, just kind of going in a circle. We now have a fully functioning track that'll keep the water in place. Next, we're actually going to want to protect our zombie. So to do that, we're going to take our slabs, and if you look directly at the tallest point of this build, where you have that rail on top, and if you just shift right click, it's going to place a slab at that height because this is technically a full block. So then what we're going to want to do is, using this height, we're going to follow the track. We're going to be placing 3 like this and kind of keep placing it through and across. And once that connects up, you're basically done with the track. All you need to do is place that water in. But I'm not going to place the water in just yet. I want to get the whole thing built before, because I don't like, at least when I'm building things in survival specifically, placing water into your build before you're completed with actually building the structure. Just in case there are alterations or mistakes that have come up in your build, you want to make sure that you're not going to have an issue with water splurting everywhere. So let's start with making our first villager containment area. Alright, so now why don't you grab your chests, torches, string, carpet, slabs, and your beds. But keep your glass or your transparent block and your building block in your inventory. Now that we have all that, let's go down, grabbing our scaffolding block, and we're going to count up by 10 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But we're doing it on this blue block, which is directly diagonal from this green block that we had before. So we have 1 block in between. After we count to 10, we should see we're directly in line with that block, and we're going to place a full block right here. Any block of your choice works. I'm choosing to go with cobblestone, but any block that you think would look nice, you can use. So now this is where our chests are actually going to come in handy, because we're going to actually use chests to keep our villagers contained, as well as giving them a direct line of sight at the zombie when they're going through. Since chests are technically not full blocks, they can actually see over the chests when they are laying down in their beds in this little compartment, as well as when they're standing right here. So they'll always be able to see the zombie when it comes through. So I just place any block down that you can, just to place down the chests. So as you can see, if you actually place the regular block next to it, The chests are just a sliver difference in height, and they're a sliver enough so that we can use those. From there, we're going to actually want to place down 2 blocks out like this, and 2 blocks out just like this. So we have something lines of 2, 2, and 2. So this is actually where we're going to be placing the beds down. You want actually the heads of the beds to be faced towards this center block. So you're going to want to try to place them in this orientation. Just like this, so the villagers will have a nice little cozy home right here where they have access to their beds. Next, we're actually going to want to place some string over all of the beds and place carpet right on top of that. It's kind of a little weird to try to do, but if you just hold shift, get your first piece down, and then just hold shift and place it on the other ones. Alright, just like that. So you have 2 blocks going that way, and then kind of a 2x2 over this way. From there, as a safety precaution, I'd put a transparent block right above their heads so that you'll have something to protect them from lightning. Because if they did get struck by lightning, then you would have some witches in your farm, and that is not going to be a fun time. So just one little block above would actually protect them. As well as placing torches on this, because you want these actually lit up. The light will help them be able to see, so that this farm will also work at night. So make sure you add some sort of light block. These work just fine. Below the beds, you can actually just break those blocks that are below them. Just make sure you keep this 1 block right here, because that's going to be, again, where the zombies are going to stand. So we're going to actually come up to this scaffolding that we used on the blue area, break down whatever scaffolding block we had, and come back, and we're going to be placing down 7 blocks instead of our 10 that we had previously. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Climb up it, and we're going to place 1 piece of glass right here so that we can stand perfectly in between here. So now we're going to start following out this blue path, just like this. And we're actually going to need blocks 2 high so that there's only 1 block in between this villager standing block. And we're just going to count 9 out. And once that is complete, you should have a 2 high, 9 by 9 square around this area. We're going to be taking our slabs again, and we're going to make some top slabs. So you might have to come down, and you might have to use your scaffolding to kind of help you get the right spot so you get something to stand on. But they need to be top slabs so that the golems can actually spawn on these. And you're going to make a 2 by 2 ring around this area. So currently we have a 3 by 3 hole in the center. We don't actually want our golems to have this large of a hole. We want more spawning space. So if you come over to the corner closest to your villager and walk over, we're going to actually cover another swath of these blocks so that there's just a 2 by 2 square closest to our villagers, just like that. So we have a bigger area this way. So it'll be 3, 2 empty, and then 2, just like that. Now we're going to want to place fence gates so our water doesn't flow into our collection area. So just place a block down and then shift hold to place these fence gates so they're right over the opening, and just open up those fence gates just like that. Now the crux of the build has been done. If you want to just copy this villager area and this collecting area and all 3 of the other ones, and then meet back here, and I'm going to show you guys how to do the collection area. Now you have the complete structure of this farm completely in place. Let's go with the collection area now, just to get that out of the way. So right below our opening, we're going to want to surround this with glass. So now we got a glass tube keeping the iron golems from escaping, and we're going to actually have to dig down into the ground because we want to kill them far enough away so that the villagers up here don't see them. Because so if you had it just at this height, had a lava blade and killed them this way, it would be too close to those villagers, where those villagers are actually going to see this iron golem and not spawn one. So you're going to want to keep it 16 blocks away from this. You have to account for the height of the golem, so that would make it about 19 blocks away. So we're going to count down, because we know we're 10 blocks at this point. So why don't we count down another 10 blocks? 1, 2, 3, 10. So that's where we're going to put the lava. We're going to dig down 11 blocks and place signs on either side of this, because that's what's going to keep the lava up on this portion and not too deep and not let it just flow down. And since golems are 3 blocks high, we're going to want to dig another blockwards down and one final block, because this is where we're going to be placing our hoppers. So we can actually start kind of clearing out a little bit. So we start having like a room down here. So now you should have something looking like this. In this slot right here, I'm going to do 2 double chests, just so we have that extra space to store it, because this farm is fairly efficient. We're going to take some hoppers and put 2 hoppers facing into this double chest right like this. Another hopper, and you might have to dig it out a little bit, place another one. So when you look at the line of hoppers, they should all be pointing into this chest. Now you can add another set just like this, so that you'll have 2 double chests that you can fill in per this module, and you can do that for every module. Another thing you can do too is have these hoppers actually meet in the center of it, have a little room where it stores all of it. It's really up to you. I'm just showing you guys a pretty simple way to get something going. And now that you have all this in place, this is when we're going to want to place our lava. So we're going to be placing it against these blocks right here, so that we have a nice flat lava directly there for our guys to fall through. And if you actually stand right here, you'll be completely safe. The problem is you'll have to break the hopper to get out, because if you break this block right here, the lava will flow out. So be aware of that when you're placing it. You might want to give yourself a little exit just like this. And then you can just place your hopper back in just like that. Seal up your hole, and you have a fully functioning collection unit. So now that that's in place, do that for all of the other ones. Alright, and from there, you'll be able to put your zombie on the track, throw in your 3 villagers, making sure that the glass block is off when you first put them in, so that they actually will be able to sleep in all 3 of those beds. If that's an issue, just try breaking the beds, getting rid of the glass block and putting it back on, and see if they'll be able to sleep in those beds. And the last little piece that really helps for paper and spigot players is if you add this 3x3 glass to the ends of the beds, it'll help with preventing paper and spigot doing the anti-cramming, where the villagers will actually spawn on this glass. So if that's happening to you, just add these 3x3 on there. And yeah, that's all there is to it. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. I had a blast making it. Had so much fun. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have any questions or anything like that. I will try to help answer it. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next tutorial.